QB1 here at South Dakota State University. It's been a long time since that has been someone other than Mark Gronowski, but the guy earning that title now is Chase Mason, and he's kind enough to take a little time with us here this summer. And Chase, have you allowed yourself to think about that label and all that means, especially taking over for a guy like Mark?
Yeah, I mean, all of spring ball I had that title too. And I've always thought of myself as being a QB1. No one come here to be a backup, and I never felt that way. It just happened to be like that. And Mark was a fantastic quarterback, and I happened to be his backup. So I always envisioned myself as a QB1. So I've kind of always held that title kind of in my head. So
it is big shoes to fill. There's no way around that. He's one of the best to ever do it here, let alone the best to ever do it in FCS football. But that being said, rather than ask you what it's like to take over for that guy, what's the biggest lesson that you were able to take from him in those years as his understudy?
I would just say the way he carries himself every day, the way he does little things every day, his leadership, his film study, and his involvement with like the younger guys and bringing them along with, because the biggest thing that carries this program is bringing the younger guys with, because eventually you're going to leave here at one point. I'm going to leave here at one point. You got to leave this place better than you had it. So yeah, that's what I learned from him the most.
Well, you talk about leaving, and everybody gets nervous when they hear those words. But at the same time, you kind of got an early run of what the leadership part of being the top quarterback was going to be like when everything that happened. Jimmy Rogers leaves. Obviously, a lot of players went with him. And you and Quentin Christensen specifically have gotten a lot of credit for the way that you stood up and re-recruited guys and got them to stay here. Walk me through that time period there as you kind of just asserted yourself as the leader of this football team, or one of them? Yeah,
it was kind of crazy just because it was over Christmas break and none of the guys were together. So it was all via text message, phone calls, and me and Q kind of got together and just like split up. We don't it was us recruiting against our old coaches. So we're like split up, pick some guys, and start calling them. Once you get a couple guys, have them call other people. But it was all player-led stuff, and that's what makes this place special. Is the players is what the culture is. It isn't any coaching. There's always going to be great coaches that want to come here and coach at SDSU, but the players is what makes the place special, and that's kind of what held everything together. And it's the glue of this place, really.
And how about for you? Like, why was it so easy for you to just decide that I'm not going anywhere? This is where I want to be?
I mean, South Dakota State's always been special for me, and coming out of high school and going to play baseball, and really it felt like the only thing I really wanted to do was come play football here. And being a South Dakota kid, it's always been special. It's been a special place for me and a lot of South Dakota kids, and I think Q feels the same way. So it's pretty much a no-brainer to come back here, and money's never been a motivator for me. Otherwise I probably would have stuck with baseball. Sure. But I mean, it's just always been easy, and it's been home for me forever.
Well, you talked about the baseball part of your career, and obviously you were a multi-sport athlete, and that was the first avenue that you pursued before ending up here at South Dakota State. Mark Gronowski's been quoted as talking about how when you first got here, you were a baseball player trying to figure out how to play football again. How far have you come since that in terms of just your overall football ability?
I mean, it was crazy because, like, when I first got here, I didn't play football for over a year, and I was playing baseball. And the football I was playing was 9-man football in South Dakota. So it's fun football, but I wouldn't consider it like football. It's more like backyard, just kind of go out there, and I wouldn't say roll out the ball out there and play, but it's a little less. But coming here and just learning from Mark was probably the biggest thing, and just knowing that I'm not on the same level at this point, but just taking day by day and trying to get better each day was probably the biggest thing, and building that confidence up. It was hard just not knowing what the heck was going on right away and having to try and build confidence. But leaning on Mark and the guys around you were welcoming me in was the biggest thing. So, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about this team, and it is going to look very different. And that was always going to be the case, regardless of what happened in terms of guys moving on to Washington State or other places in the Big Ten, things like that. Why should Jackrabbit fans be confident that there will be no step back, and that this trajectory that you guys have been on for such a long time is going to continue, and with you and Q and Coach Jackson in charge?
Yeah, I mean, you said it right there. Like, Coach Jackson and himself, great dude, phenomenal coach, everyone here is bought into him, and he's so much about the players and what we need and what we want. And like I said before, the players is what make this place special. And we had a core group of guys that know what the brotherhood is here, and we got all the guys here now bought into that. If you got a group of guys like we have here that are all bought in and want to play for each other, there's really nothing that's going to stop us. The coaching staff is great here, but the players, like I said, is what makes this place the special place it is. So.
All right, so you're getting into it now, and summer workouts have already started, and you mentioned once everybody's here, which is coming,
yep.
Then you can really start to get after it, right?
Yep.
And then camp is going to be here before you know it. What are some of the biggest things you want to see out of this group over the next couple of months before you even get to camp?
Yeah, I feel like just the summer is a good time just to kind of gel as a team. There's just so many new faces. 40 new freshmen, so it's getting them caught up to where we're at, making them feel like they're a part of it, just getting kind of everybody gelled together. And then once fall camp starts, we're already going to be on a head start, and we're already going to be able to kind of flow through things a little bit better than a lot of teams. Like the more closer we get during the summer, that's what it's about, and that's what makes things flow. So.
What's the appropriate emotion, do you think, right now for you to have is not only get into the summer, and I'm sure excitement is the easy one, the obvious one. What other feelings are there as you guys get set out to really start the journey of this 2025 season?
I feel like a lot of guys on the team just have something to prove. A lot of guys on the team right now have been in the shadows of other people, and I feel like get overlooked a lot. There's so much talent on this team that it's nuts. It's just this spring it was awesome to see guys get their chance and their opportunity. Just because we have young guys doesn't mean they can't play ball, and it's going to be so exciting to see. It's been exciting to see this summer already, and once we get the freshmen here, I know some of those guys are going to be contributing this year, and we're going to need them. But it's just the young talent. I think so many guys are hungry. That's the one word I probably use, hungry. There's so many guys on this team that are just kind of biting and ready to just go. So that everybody's just excited, but it's just kind of hard to kind of just wait and kind of have our opportunity. So.
You know who else is excited? The folks out there. They've been waiting a long time to see number 7 get his shot, and it's here. And I know a lot of people are going to be very eager to see what happens under your leadership here starting this fall.
Yeah, I'm excited. Super excited for Jackrabbit Nation, and they're excited for us. So I just can't wait till fall comes. So.